I want to add to my 5 video series on spiritual self-defense. I won't summarize the others. I just occurred to me today that one of the things to think about is just what to do when it hurts, when you can't avoid the hurt. It's painful. You can't manage somebody else's bad behavior. You can't avoid it. Something happens unexpectedly. Um, you don't have the words to say. You don't have the action to take. You're just hurting, okay? And you're humiliated sometimes, lost for words, lost for feelings. What do you do? What can you do? I've given some ideas about building a home in your heart, feeling the feelings. So what I do now, and this is not something I can did many years ago, but what I do now is really go into my body, really pay attention to my body, to zone out from my thinking and to feel the pain, the emotional pain in my body, often in the chest, but sometimes elsewhere. I think it's mostly the chest at the moment anyway. And just to accept it and not to battle it and to see that part of you, that physical part of you, as the tool, as the tool for transforming the pain, for soaking it up, for absorbing it for as long as it takes. Even though the humiliation is mental, spiritual, actually, when we connect to our body, that's where we transform things. We try and fight mentally, pushing down, suppressing, managing, switching focus. It's exhausting, and that's exhausting as well. Um, maybe may have some short-term effects, but long-term exhaustion. And so feel the body, feel the pain in the body and stay with it for as long as you can, really. If it's too painful, then do something, we'll go for a run, walk, or something like that, something physical. Getting into a rhythm, fitness rhythm is a good idea, even at the same time as feeling that pain. So, but do your best to zone out from your minds, from your thoughts, put all your attention inside you, on inside your body, and you'll find that that's even though that's a challenging at first, you can process pain um, much more rapidly over time. And I think really, if we don't do that, if we are always at the mental stage, it's still at the body, still stuff going on in the body, but it doesn't get processed. And that's why people end up with psychosomatic illnesses, I think. I'm not an expert on this at all, but if you're constantly dealing with pressure, constantly dealing with pain, emotional pain at the mental level, you're losing touch. There's a disalignment between your thinking and your feelings that in the end goes toxic, goes toxic. And you can find that you'll actually grow in resilience if you process your emotional pain in physical ways. Um, so so it's not so easy to do. I mean, I do it now, but it's hard for me to recall years ago when it was so hard. You can only really you can remember the idea of finding things much harder when you're younger and under pressure. But when you've moved on, and you don't have the same problems, and that's to encourage really, and also to praise myself that that I have made progress, and I should be happy with myself for that. So theologically, that makes sense as well. This idea of feeling the pain in the body. One of the things I always remember learning when I was a strict Catholic was the words of Tertullian. I don't know, it's third century Roman Catholic leader and theologian. He said, "The flesh is the hinge of salvation. The flesh is the hinge of salvation." That's actually a very, very profound and powerful idea that I've thought about a lot in recent years. And one way to look at that is it's in the body that we accept what's happening around us, that we submit. It's in the body that we submit to the difficulties of life, to the humiliations, to the humblings, to the fact that we're not number one in the world, that God is number one. And if we submit through the body, through the feelings, through the our own physicality. I think when he said flesh, he also meant the mind as well, but the flesh, the body and the mind, when we submit and we accept and we embrace and we don't fight, then God finds a way in and we become more humble, we become more um, dependent on him, we become more united with our own spiritual sides, our spirit, our souls. We become more united and more aligned. Our body and our mind is more aligned with our souls and therefore with God as well. Our souls are already uh, aligned with God outside our bodies and minds, but often discord and dissent and internal strife and tearing ourselves apart because our souls are not in line. Our souls are in one place, a healthy place, and our bodies and minds are pulling in opposite directions, trying to avoid dealing, accepting things, just not accepting things. Acceptance. This is the big thing. Acceptance in the mind and in the body of what comes your way. And when you're in a controlling environment, that's not easy at all. But you have a lot more to accept. It's just your life is dealing, constant dealing with accepting um, oppression, really. And you may be an oppressor as well, giving it out to other people. But if you're asked constant oppression and you have no way of escaping, then it's really important to process and just think about that. Just think, are you using all aspects of your humanity, your body, your feelings, your mind to process, or are you trying to bat things off, firefighting? So even if my ideas don't really hit home, if they bring out the idea in you that actually my coping techniques aren't working, or they're exhausting, or they're not improving my situation over time, then it's time to think outside the box, think differently. Thank you for listening.